first PR workshop of Rotary year 2023-24. A lot to say. First, I do want to thank our district governor, Jamie, for taking some time to hang out with us and participate in our first workshop. Appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure.
We've also got District Governor-elect Judy in the room tonight. Thank you very much for coming, Judy. She's also the immediate past public image chair. Does that count?
That works.
Yep, absolutely.
Glad to turn it over to you, my friend.
And then we've got past District Governor Dan Goodrich in here as well. Thank you, Dan, for coming.
Welcome.
So if you guys don't know me, my name is Dan Cortesi, and I am this year's public image chair for District 5330. Along with me is Kevin Taylor from the Palm Springs Sun Up Club. And we're still working on putting our committee together. So if there's anybody else out there that would like to join us, by all means, contact us. I put our email in the chat already, so you can always hit us up that way. I want to give you a little bit of information about me, so you know who I am. I joined Rotary in 2018. I became the membership chair in 2019 and president in 2020. So I got to enjoy my presidency on Zoom just like this during COVID. So really, that's where it all started for me. I had to learn pretty quick to adapt to that whole environment, and it kind of led me in the direction of figuring out how to do this public image stuff. And I really just started, advertising what programs we were able to be involved with during that time. A lot of them were like food distribution programs. And I made videos, I posted videos. I say they went like Hemet viral because, we got a couple, 1-2 posts got tens of thousands of views, which was great. But that's kind of where I started this whole passion for public image and marketing and content creation and all that stuff. I'm married, got 2 boys. I have a bachelor's degree in business, a master's degree in organizational leadership. I work for the city of Hemet. I've been there since 2007, and I actually do environmental compliance for the city. But I also have worked my way into developing marketing materials and social media content for our city's social media and website. So that's kind of who I am in a very, very small nutshell. I wanted to give Kevin a minute to do the same thing. If you could just kind of tell us who you are and what you're up to.
Absolutely. So I am with the Palm Springs Sun Up Rotary Club. I joined Rotary in 2009. And in 2012, went to Las Vegas, and I was president of the Red Rock Rotary Club, which was a new gen club in 2014, 2015, and then came back to Palm Springs in 2018. And I am currently the community service chair, but I've been membership. I also work on the public relations committee and also help out with membership. And I think pretty much I was secretary before, so I've kind of gone through the whole thing. But that's what I do. I currently work for a new housing community in Palm Springs called Miralon, and started out working for the developer as the marketing director. And then because things slowed down, went over to the HOA side. So I am the assistant general manager for the HOA at Miralon. And I've been there now just over 5 years. So born in Palm Springs, raised in San Diego, back to Palm Springs in 2004. And that's me.
Cool. Thank you for doing that. First, I wanted to get started by giving our district governor a few minutes to kind of run through maybe some goals, expectations that she might have for president / PR chairs this year.
Great. Thanks, Dan. And thanks to you and to Kevin and to PDG Jan for all that you guys do to get ourselves out there on social media and create that image and brand. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it. And Judy, thank you as well for all your input and guidance. And Judy is the impetus behind our podcast for this year. So all of you will be seeing that coming out here shortly, and she can probably talk a little bit more about that, but we're really excited to be using that as another ways to communicate and get ourselves out there and our projects and all the important things that you're doing in your community. So part of what we want to do for this year, obviously, is to continue to expand and to help you, to support you in how you can get all of your club's service projects, fundraisers, anything that you're doing in the community. We want to get it out there. We want to help you develop that. And part of our strategic plan is to obviously continue these meetings that we're having once a month, to create additional classes and seminars that you can come to help you do that. And, you know, if you're not specifically the public image chair, to work with your public image chair, and of course anyone else in your club who is interested in wanting to make sure that you're out there. And that goes everything from websites to flyer development, to, you know, how do I market my fundraiser, or how can we best highlight, you know, a great community project that we just did. So, you know, it is one of our top 13 initiatives for this year, and actually for the next 3 years, is to continue to develop this program and be there for you. That is our primary thing. We're here to support you and provide you with whatever it is you need. So coming to these meetings and providing us feedback, sending us emails, whatever method is good for you, texting, we're all about it. We're right there, we're on top of it, and we want to be supportive. So if anybody has any direct questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I thank you all for coming tonight and taking this time out to learn how we can continue to improve and get our message out there and show the great things we're doing in our communities.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions for our district governor? Silence.
Silence. Okay. I guess not.
We'll take that. Well, obviously, as the year goes on, if you guys have any questions, a lot of those things will hopefully be addressed at these PR workshops. But I'm sure our district governor, whenever she has the opportunity, she'll pop back in and try to help answer any more questions that you guys might have. All right, so with that, I'd like to go to District Governor-elect Judy, who is going to talk to us a little bit about the podcast that our district governor just talked about.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dan, for letting me come and join you all today. It's always good to see a full room and excited about all the things that everybody's going to do this year. With District Governor Jamie, we have launched something a little bit new for the district this year, and that is a District 5330 podcast. We have already recorded 2 episodes, and the purpose of the podcast is really to tell the story of all of the different things that we are doing in our district. So the intent on this podcast is to talk about the impact and actually have the individuals that are impacted as part of the conversation. For example, we had our youth chair, Cynthia Mansell, was on our first interview, and she brought along our exchange student 2 days before she headed back to her home, and we talked a lot about her experience, the train trip that she had, and all the things that she was able to experience here while she was on her youth exchange. We will be talking with Kevin and the group from Tijuana about the houses that they're building in Tijuana. We'll be talking with Ricardo about the projects we've been doing in Mexicali. We have another It's called the Waves Project, and they were actually sort of born out of the Rotary Club of Temecula. It was a Rotary Temecula Rotary member and her husband that started this wonderful scuba diving for veterans that is now turned into this amazing project to help veterans that are disabled and with PTSD, and that has actually gone nationwide. And these are the kinds of things we would love to hear from each and every one of you. So you kind of get the idea. We're going to have somebody from a Rotary Club that was probably involved with the project, and then someone from the project to talk about the impact. And the impact stories are the most important things. Now, we are currently editing the first 2 interviews. The first one is District Governor Jamie and I just sort of introducing the podcast. And then we will be putting out an interview every other week or so. The more stories we get, the more we can put them out. Ideally, we would like to put out an interview or an episode once a week. And this is something that you can share on your website, on your social media. It'll definitely be shared on the district's social media. You'll find it on the website. So past District Governor Goodrich is going to be building a landing page for us, and that's where all the episodes will be. However, you can share that URL, and Dan can talk about that a little bit more on any digital platform that you have, as well as possibly sharing it. One idea that someone had is to play the podcast as people are entering into your meetings. So there's a lot of great things that we can do, both to promote to our clubs, but more importantly, I think for this particular project is really to get the community to realize all the different things that we do and the impact we have on our communities. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dan or any questions that anybody has.
So Judy, who should we let know about projects that are going on?
You should email me, and I'll put my email in the chat, but it's dgjudy2425, and I'm scheduling them for Jamie and I. And so it's Jamie, I, and Dan that are working on putting all these things together, but I'll do the scheduling. So I'll put that in the chat for you.
Okay, she said at our meeting last week that she would come to the Field of Honor and do something there on a podcast about that.
Oh, yes, I would love to get the Field of Honor. So when you're looking at that, Linda, if you could have somebody from yourself or somebody from the organizing committee of the Field of Honor, and then maybe one of your veterans or one of the veteran organizations that you work with, somebody that's impacted by that Field of Honor would be amazing.
This is the 15th year.
I know, that's amazing.
Bob Bryant really brought that to the club, and he would be a great interview.
He'd be the perfect person to be the Rotarian that's part of the interview, and then you get somebody again that is impacted by what you do with that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's some of the school teachers or school children that come through.
Yep, that's a great idea. Excellent idea. And that's the idea, is to get both local and international projects. So those things that we're doing right here at home and those things that we're doing around the world, keeping in mind that you physically do not have to be in studio. We can do exactly what we're doing here. We can do the interview via Zoom. So one or both individuals can be on Zoom, and one or both can be in studio. So it's just completely up to you. We do the recordings in Temecula.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for Judy about podcasts? None? Okay. All right. So we are going to move on to past District Governor Dan Goodrich. He's going to talk to us a little bit about DACDB and websites. In all honesty, Dan, one of the most popular questions we get is related to a website of some sort. So Dan's going to try to help us out this year, kind of navigate some of those issues. So take it away, Dan.
So I can't really show you tonight how to build the website, and that's more than a 20-minute conversation to start with. But let me just by a show of hands or whatever, are any of you using the DACDB website? And are you using the Easy Beautiful website, or are you using the WordPress site? I'm going to go with probably Easy Beautiful, the simple one, the template one, right?
Yeah, we're
Shane?
just changing over to the WordPress one. And
Okay.
we're scared so far.
Scared? Well, I'll tell you this, and this is just from a layman that kind of learned it from the ground up. Don't be scared, Mark, because I think that you'll find that the WordPress site is actually easier to, it's a lot more flexible. It has a lot more capability. You have to be a little more creative with it, but the Easy Beautiful site works great for most who have little experience in that. And what we're going to talk tonight about is content. We're going to start with content, because without content, you really don't have a website. You know, a little bit later, we'll start getting into, you know, as the workshops continue, I'll continue to come and I'll start piecing together a step-by-step on things you can do to build pages and that kind of thing. But content is the king when it comes to any marketing, any social media, any website that you're ever going to do. And let me ask you this by a show of hands, who here has heard of Easy Stories? Who knows how to use them? Okay, so Easy Stories using DACDB is a really simple way to get your content on your web page or in your bulletin, whatever platform you're using, without having to do any work but create the content inside of the Easy Story. So I'm just going to see if I can share my screen here real quick. I'm not be able to. You got to make me somebody so I can.
Let's see. You can ask me to do something I haven't done in a long time.
To the right of the share screen, Dan, it should, if you hover over it, should pop up.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's see, we get that off of there. All right, so can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so I can't see you now, so you're going to have to interrupt me. This is my club. Okay, and we're going to use my club as an example. But we also have this, we have the WordPress site, but it also works just the same way on Easy Beautiful, except you don't, on WordPress, you got to set it up. Easy Beautiful, it just automatically happens like magic. So we're going to come into this thing called Easy Story right here. And everybody, if you don't, let me just back up a little bit. If you don't see this on your screen, the first thing you can do is you can come over here and you can click this gear in the right-hand corner. And that'll bring up a list of everything that you have displayed and things that you don't have displayed. And it's real simple to get it up there. If you want to have it on your screen to be able to see, you just kind of grab a hold of it, hold down your left button and drag it over there, and then just set as your account default, and you'll have it on your screen. So here's my Club Easy Bulletins now, and Club Bulletins. But we're going to talk about Easy Stories, okay? So once you've located it, you're just going to double click on it and you're going to open it. And the first thing, you know, you kind of see some of the stuff we have here, but we're going to add a new story. We're going to start from scratch, okay? And then I'm going to show you how, because I don't have an Easy Beautiful site. I can't just pop it in like I want to because we've switched over to WordPress. But when you click on add a story, it's going to ask you for information, and you'll notice that there's asterisks by certain things. If there's an asterisk there, you have to give it an answer. You have to title it, and we're just going to call this thing test for the heck of it. And the headline will automatically default to that. You can change it. You can change it to Dan, okay? Now you'll notice that there's a draft, a review, and approved and published. Please note that you have all the control of this thing, and you can set that up any way you want amongst your clubs. Some people have more than one person working on it. I would say that most clubs probably don't have that luxury. But if you're the one that's doing it, you can do anything in any of these top 3 modes, and you'll be able to see it on your screen. But until you actually hit published, it will not appear on your website or in your bulletins. So we're going to leave it in draft mode because we're not going to throw this on the website. You can see that there's a start date, and that's always today, the day that you actually created the story. Notice that it says post until. Okay, now I got to be honest with you, a lot of folks don't use this box, and it's pretty obvious because when you come to this homepage in DACDB and you see all of the things that scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, all of, you know, it's because they're continued to post. There's no end date on them. So sometimes you're going to want to leave things up. Sometimes you're going to want to leave things where they expire, if you will. And that's where you're going to do that. You're going to put your end date right here. So we're just going to say, for whatever giggles, that we'll put it there. And here's where it allows you to put a picture in. Okay, so if I choose a file, it's going to ask me for a picture, and I'm just going to choose the background that Dan sent me today. And that picture is going to automatically appear in my story. That simple. Not only will it appear, the text will wrap around it. It automatically formats itself, and it displays well that way. The next question it asks you, though, is where do you want it displayed? So do you want it displayed on your website? You click it. Do you want it to display in a bulletin? You click it. Whatever you click is where it'll go once you hit publish and you save it. So we're not going to worry about the bulletin right now because that's like a whole nother course. We're just going to talk about websites. Enable comments. So Mark, you said you had a WordPress site coming. If you click that box, it actually turns into a blog and people can write a comment, and you can filter those things through where you can answer and all that kind of stuff. We typically don't put that on the website, only because we don't have anything going like that where people, you know, for our websites, it's usually they either sign up or they're viewing, but they're not commenting. It's not like a social media blog. Story date, byline, story separators. Story separators, if you have more than one story, it'll automatically put a little break line in there for you. We're only going to have one story. Byline is who wrote the story. So if I keep the byline on, it'll say at the bottom that it was created by me. And also the date, it'll tell you that the date was 7/24 and it was created. So that's pretty much it. The view levels, you know, you can actually set these things to be viewed by whatever level within DACDB. But if you want everybody to see it, just leave it 0. Don't touch that. Pretty simple. Any questions so far? Because I can't see you. No?
I assume you're going to get to the story content next.
Yep, right here where it says story content tab. Okay, so anybody familiar with Word? This works a little bit the same way, but a little bit different. Hate to say it like that, but it doesn't quite have all the functionality of a Word, but it does have similar things. So essentially you can see across the top, if you highlight over any of this stuff, it'll give you descriptions of what they are. But we're just going to, essentially, we're just going to type something like, today on, I don't know, July 24th, we had our first PR workshop. Okay. And, you know, this story can go and on and on and on. And then you can also have a whole other complete description of the story. The text will appear when a user clicks read more. So if this thing grows to a point where it's so long, you can actually have a little button. It'll automatically appear. It says click read more, and whatever you, when they click that, whatever you type in this bottom box will be there. Now now that we just have this little sentence here, we're going to talk about all the formatting options, right? So you've got bold, italic, underline. You can strike it out. You know, everything that you would have in Word. There's left justified. You can center it. You can right justify it. Left justify it. Here's where your size comes in. How big do you want it to be? Do you want it to be, I don't know, 18? Do you want it to be what kind of font? You got several fonts to choose from. There's not a ton of fonts, but you can click between the different fonts. You can kind of get an idea what they look like and how you want to use them. Okay, headings. How, you know, if you're using it as a heading, there's different things for that. That's a big thing in WordPress, by the way, because of something called SEO, which I won't get into right now, but your headings play a big part in how things are found on the web. We're just going to keep it normal. Okay. You got styles, you got, you know, just, you can play with this. You can play it any way you want. It just, you're going to, this, you cannot hurt anything, right? You're just going to get a feel for however you like it. Okay. Now, one of the things I do want to show you is pictures and tables. Okay. So, and this might be a little quick, but we're going to skip down and we're going to put in a table and it's going to pop up. Everybody familiar with Excel? Same kind of concept, rows and columns, right? So these are just different options that you have, but I can put in one row with two columns and you'll notice that I now have two different work areas. So that table comes in handy when you're putting together your content, because over here I could put in a picture. I could have another image in here, and you do have to upload your images first. You'll notice that when I hit browse server, there's a ton of images I have here. These are all the different things that the district has ever done. Flyers. Look, there's this guy called Dan Goodrich. He was a governor one time. So we're going to use his little picture right here. And we're just going to make it small enough, I hope, that we can actually see it. So you can see there's a flyer. Now you see how small that got? And see how you can drag this? You can still make that open. And I can just type, please come. And, you know, whatever you type off to the text side, that's what comes alongside the picture there. These are things that you can do in your content. Now, all this stuff you're going to play with, it's going to be your creativity. Same thing with the pictures. You can right justify them. You can, you know what I mean? You can left justify them. You can turn this thing in and you can move it closer, give yourself more space on one side. All that stuff works real simple. It really does. It's not a big production to figure out how to use tables. Pictures are simple. You just click this little thing that looks like a television set. And if you want to upload a picture, it's got a button over here in the corner that says upload. So if I hit upload and I select the background that Dan gave me tonight and I hit open, it'll automatically upload. Now I have the ability to use that as a picture. That's how fast it works. It's pretty quick. It's not slow. I have a ton of pictures in here, so it's really, mine's like loaded from all the things I've ever done. But plus other people have put pictures up in here too. So with that being said, we have the ability to add pictures, add tables, which allows us to give separate work areas. We can put different colors. If I want to change the color to green, I gotta highlight it first. Change the color to green, I can change the color to green. If I want to put a background behind it, I can put a background behind it and call it yellow. There's all different little formatting things right here that can be done to your print, to your text, to make it stand out. Did I go too fast? No? Okay. Now, let's see, where we at? 6 o'clock. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I will tell you this. If you take something from a Word document, okay, here's something you got to know. If you take something from Word document, say you do something in Word and you want to copy it into your story, you have to hit Control V. See up here in the little red right here? I don't know if I can highlight it. Yeah, this right here. It says, if pasting from Microsoft Word, please use the word paste icon below and keyboard shortcut. So you'll notice that there's an icon right here that has a W in it that looks like Word that I'm hovered over right here. I don't have a word thing, but it says paste from Word. You can either click that key or you can just hit Control V on your keyboard, or Command V if you're using an Apple, and it'll do the same thing. If you try to copy something from Word and you don't do that, it's going to get all mucked up. It's not going to be in the format that you want. It's going to throw your formatting off. So just know, because you're like me, I do 99% of all my typing in Word because I can change all the structure and the paragraphs and the spacing a lot easier in there than I can here. And then I bring it in and I copy it in with bullet points or whatever. There's bullet points here. I didn't really go over them, but if I put a 1, a 2, 3, right, and I highlight these, just like Word, you can add numbers to them. You can change them to bullet points. So it has a lot of flexibility on your content. It's really kind of user friendly. They just don't have as much as Word does. They've tried to be, kind of keep it simplified. But at the end of the day, whatever you're most comfortable with, if you want to do it in Word and copy it in, that's how I usually do it. But these are available to you. Okay. So that's content. That's how you get a story pretty much in. But once you're done putting your story in, you have to hit save. And then you'll notice up here that it says test. Now, the reason why it's up here is you'll notice that some of these are in publication and some are not. So if I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to use it, I actually have to come back in and hit published. Now, if I put it in published, I have the ability to put it on a website. And if I hit save, it's now down here. Now that's pretty much it. Okay, when it comes to the content. Now let me just give you a little bit of what it how I have it set up for our website at Hemet. So Hemet, right now I've got, this is a WordPress site, but you'll see that I got upcoming district events as a test and some upcoming calendar events that we have coming up for our club. So if I come into DACDB and I come into my easy stories, right down here, I've got district events, club events. So if I hit edit, once I got this all set up, I never have to go back. I can just simply add to it, overwrite. I can put Dan C is awesome. Don't tell him I said that, okay, guys, because he's just new to this. We don't want him to get a big head right off the bat. Okay, so we hit save, right? And when I come back to, where's my page up here? Page up here, refresh. There's my story that I created up here. Look, there's Dan C is awesome down there. So see how I've got this all set up where the story will automatically create because I published it to our website. I got those bullet points. There's my picture. It doesn't see how it kind of wrapped around the bullet points. I didn't go enough text across to make it really show. But you can see that you have one way of setting it up like a template, which is the district events, where all you go in is change your dates, change your contents, and it'll be right there for you. Or you have the ability to create a whole new story and it automatically appears for you without having to do anything but create the story. As long as you click the website button, it'll be on your website. So let me see here. I think I'm going to hit stop sharing so I can see everybody. Was that challenging? Was it over our head? Because I could go slower next time, but I'm looking at it like when everybody said they were easy for, familiar with easy stories. I just don't know if you're familiar with the fact that you can put them on a website with a couple of clicks of a button.
Interesting. I have a
Now,
question.
go ahead.
Is this how you get stories on the DACDB homepage?
Yep. So if I go back to that screen, okay, now is Governor Jamie still on here?
No, she had to go to a meeting.
Good. Okay. All right. I'm not trying to get in trouble over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to
It's all being
No, no.
recorded, Dan.
Oh, great. Appreciate that. How do I get this thing to, let me see here. I got to share my screen, but I got to get back to, oh, here we go. DACDB. And let me get out of there. How come I'm not seeing DACDB? What am I doing wrong, Dan? Okay, so, okay.
He's showing us how easy it is to use.
I'm not real good at Zoom, that's for sure. Okay, so here we are. All right, so here's our easy stories, right? You can see that. So if I click on any of these and I put test, we're going to click on the test one real quick. Okay. All I got to do is click homepage right here, Linda.
Okay, and that's the DACDB homepage.
That's the homepage right up here where my mouse is at.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
you know, if I click save, which why not? We'll take it down in a second. But if I click home now, there's my page. Hammett headlines. Dan, here's my story.
And you're more up to date than the stories that are there.
Well, yeah, mine's garbage, but yes, but that's how fast it goes. It's real quick. It happens almost instantaneously. Sometimes on a web page, you're going to have to hit the refresh to see it. Now, when you're all done, okay, now you notice I put a date in here. It says over here on the list, it says it's posted until 7/25, which means when 7/26 comes along, it automatically disappears. It comes off the home page. It'll come off. See right here, it says show on. Right up here, it's show on. It says web page, home page. B is bulletins. So the minute that post until date passes, it automatically drops off everything, and it won't be there anymore. But because this is kind of like garbage, and I was just showing you how it worked, you can delete any story by just hitting this red X.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm going to do that because I don't want to be in trouble by the governor for posting garbage on the homepage. And we don't want Dan C thinking he's awesome. So now you'll notice when I come back here, because I deleted it, as soon as it gets out of my way, there we go. And I hit refresh, it's gone. Oh, Dan C's still awesome though, because he's under the district one. I forgot to take him off. So we need to come down here and edit that page because it's a template that I have set up. And then when we erase him and hit save, we'll find that Dan, and refresh, we'll find that Dan's not so awesome after all. Okay. So that's a little bit how easy stories work and how they communicate to both the website, both WordPress and Easy Beautiful is what they're called. And I got, you know, the reason why I can't show you the Easy Beautiful thing is I got to get DACDB to give me for the lack of terms, a dummy website to use, because once our club switched over to WordPress, we lost access to Easy Bulletin, and I can't access anybody's Easy Bulletin website without passwords and access information. So I'm going to see if, for training purposes, if they have a demo account or something that I can use to teach you guys how to do the Easy Beautiful along with WordPress is more in depth. But that being said, that's pretty much all I have. Now I'm going to give myself a plug here, and I've been in contact with, who went to the district assembly this year? Anybody? No? Well, I know Judy and Dan were there. Kevin, were you there? Sophia, I know you weren't there, unless you made it in from Tijuana. But anyway, I'm trying to secure Tahawkwitz High School in Hemet for training purposes for DACDB, and I have 4 dates that I've given them. I think I'm going to reach out to Rudy Westerfelt, past District Governor Rudy Westerfelt, to find out if RLI would like to join us, and that way everything's in one building on one day and people can sign up for everything at once. There will be a cost associated with the high school, so that's why I have to still talk to Jamie about whether we're going to charge a fee or if there's some way she can handle that fee. First, we got to get the school to say the dates are available. But DAC-DB training is going to be coming this year because for whatever reason, I don't think I have enough to do. Why are you laughing at me, Dan? That's all I got to know. Judy, I saw you smiling too, and that's not
You're
fair.
a past district governor. You don't have anything to do.
No.
I chew grass now. I'm on the other side of the fence, and there's a big gate. They let you in, and then you never get out unless you're asked to come out. You use DDFs. There's a chat. Is this platform available to the public or is it just 5330? It is available to any Rotary club in the world. You just have to pay for it. Now, typically, so I'll give you an example. 5340 over in San Diego has one club that uses DAC-DB. The rest of the district is using Club Runner. 5330 has 59 clubs who are using DAC-DB and 2 clubs that are signed up. Well, one club's probably not using anything, and the other club is using Club Runner. So the challenge with that is that if your district isn't using it, it's not really integrating back and forth, but you can still use it. Shane, use DDFs. I'm confused. Can you elaborate what that is supposed to mean? I don't hear you.
No,
Shane.
you just said you were talking about using getting money. I said use DDFs. Paying for the school.
Well, so there's a 3% admit. I won't get into the whole DDF, and Jamie's husband, who's not on the call, but Jamie is the DRFC, and there's a 3% administration piece that you can grab for that, and I think that's what we use to actually pay for DAC-DB for the district. So that kind of exhausts that. If there's going to be any fee at all for this training, it's going to be nominal. It's going to be small because I don't think that they charge very much for RLI. It's been a long time since I went to RLI and paid because I actually was in the first graduating class of RLI, and I have stories. But now they're holding it at a church over in Beaumont, so I don't know if there's a fee or not. If it is, it's small. I don't anticipate it being a lot at all to go to the training. That's not the goal, to charge clubs to be trained, in my humble opinion. So it's $30 per. Well, if it's $30 per for this training, we're going to have a discussion because this is a tool that we use in the district, and we want our clubs to be successful. And I'm not speaking for the governor, but I would think that it would be in our best interest to do all we can to train the clubs on how to use it. So with that being said, I guess unless there's no more questions, I will turn it back to District Public Relations Chair, Dan Cortese.
Does anybody have any more questions for Dan?
Yes, Mark?
You're talking about training people at the district level. What about training people at the club level? Have you any ideas for that?
Well, that's what the training's for, sir. It would be to train members of not the district so much. I think, they're welcome to attend too. I mean, essentially, I'm going to try to roll this training out at the high school where there's free Wi-Fi. You bring your own device, and I'll have a projector and a computer hooked up, and you can follow along as we go and play. But it'll probably be 3 or 4. I'm guessing it's going to be 4. It could possibly be 3, but it's going to be like set up like an RLI where there's going to be, 3 or 4 classes that you're going to go through all the way through. So you learn everything through. My humble opinion is that, it's going to be some leadership or PR chair or executive secretary or something like that in the club that is got an interest in learning, not somebody who's just showing up. Because hopefully, if I had a vision, it would be this. I would train you, Mark. Mark, you would be fully, knowledgeable about DAC-DB.
I already am. I'm fully knowledgeable about everything.
Okay, great. Then you can help me teach. And then once you're completed and you're through, then the next person steps up and they go through the training, maybe with me, but you're in the background at the club level, mentoring them along the way if they have questions in between classes. That's eventually when that takes place, it steamrolls into 3, 4, or 5, a half a dozen or more people knowing how to do it, and then pretty soon you've got a team of people that know how to do it.
My question was more for the people in the club that are actually going to use it and say, okay, here's where our calendar is. Here's where you can find names of people. That's more of my problem rather than getting people to do it, put information in.
So I can give you a couple suggestions on that. One is, it's two-piece, what you're saying. You need to have somebody that knows how to operate it internally, or a few to be successful. But there are a ton of videos in DACTV that you can watch. You can display those.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Yeah.
You can show people how to change their own data to make sure their contact information is correct through a video. And it's like 2-3 minutes long. It's not like a big long video. Login access is the key. 99% of the time when I put these trainings on, nobody knows even how to get into their account, right? So if I train you how to do that, you can give them their account access before they actually show up to my class. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Or they're going to need that access to be able to watch the video. That's where it's kind of coming. That's why I'm leading this way.
Awesome.
All right.
For those, thank you, Dan. I really appreciate that. I know it's a much needed thing in our district. It's been for a while, so we are going to appreciate your knowledge. I know not every club is gifted with a DACDB guru. I know there are a few, because you do see quite a few postings from the same clubs, kind of over and over, especially on the homepage of the DACDB. But it's actually pretty easy once you get going on it. You just got to use it kind of routinely, to get used to it. But it's pretty good source of a way to communicate, at least, one way. So is there any more questions about DACDB for now? All right. Well, I think we'll probably end it here. We do have a couple more items, things that we kind of went through already in this last year's PR workshops, just kind of like the basic stuff. Kevin is going to help us out with videos and stuff like that for social media. We're going to look at the club PR marketing plan. We'll probably go through that step by step, kind of give you guys the tools to help make that plan work. Judy is definitely on to help. She's got obviously a huge marketing background, and that's what she does for a living. Kevin's got a lot of exposure to all that stuff too. And Dan's going to be in for the ride as far as DACDB goes. So but like I said, it's commonly requested information. So I think that's perfect to add to these PR workshops. So does anybody else have any information they'd like to share? All right. Well, like we always say at the end of our PR workshops, if you do have any suggestions for future meetings, we're here to help you. So feel free. I put that email in the chat, but that's also accessible on our social media page, our Facebook page. It has it right there too. So it's always easily accessible. Send us whatever you guys are interested in talking about or learning about, and we'll put a nice training together for you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for joining tonight. We appreciate.
Thanks, Dan. Great job.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Talk to you later.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. All the time. I'll keep you in the loop.
Thank you very much.
Once a month is what we always aim for.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No
Bye-bye.
problem. All right.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.